Incapable, weak, helpless, thoughtless. Just few words being thrown at women. Oppression must stop. It's time for a change.
Hello, my name is Brent Jacob A. Carbos, and I am the speaker for this video. What exactly is feminism? To simply put it, feminism is a movement that supports equal rights and opportunities for all genders. It is about respecting diverse women's experiences, identities, knowledge, and strengths, as well as working to empower all women to fully realize their rights. To learn more about feminism, we will discuss the four waves of feminism, how it developed, how it began, and how it influenced history up to the present time. As we are all aware, historically, our society has discriminated women by denying them the same privileges, rights, and treating them as an inferior being than men. Like every oppression, there will be movements to combat this social problem and to address this social issue. The first wave of feminism began in the 1830s and lasted until the early 19th century. This is when women realized that in order to make change, they need to first gain political power. This is how suffrage movement began, with early feminists fighting for women's right to vote. Elizabeth Cady Stanton started this movement at the Seneca Falls Convention, where over 300 men and women rallied with street signs and newspapers articles to spread this movement around the world. While women's voting rights were guaranteed, discrimination against women of color was active during this wave. Women of color did not gain universal vote until 45 years later, with the passage of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Which guaranteed the right to vote to all people of color. As communities of women and people of color were discriminated against at the same time, women of color were the most oppressed people in the world at the time. The first wave focused on gaining women's voting rights, while the second wave focused on the workplace, sexuality, family, and reproductive rights. This wave began after the World War II, during the time when Betty Friedan's The Feminine Mystic was published in 1963, pointing out the feminine ideal to which women needed to sacrifice their careers and dreams for the benefit of their nuclear family. And this is also known as the happy housewife syndrome or heroine. At the same time, movements for equality and social justice began to emerge one by one, including the Black Civil Rights Movement, the Asian American movements, and many other groups fighting for equality. Many supporters of that group of movements realized that their voice were insufficient to effect change. As a result, issues of racial injustice to other human races and classes were viewed as secondary and less prioritized at the time. Feminists also made use of advanced technologies such as televisions and radios, which were becoming popular at the time. This technology provided them with an opportunity to draw more attention to the issues they are attempting to revolt against, such as marital rape, domestic violence, custody laws, and other rights related to the oppression of women's rights. To sum it up, this wave is an extension of issues of cultural and political inequality to women. And because other issues such as racial injustice are not prioritized, disparities between women of color and white women remain the same. Unlike the previous waves, the term feminist in the third wave is less critically received by the female population. The reason for this is the emergence of second wave feminism such as rational feminism, liberal feminism, ecofeminism, and so on. As a result, The third wave's focus is to reduce the issue of the micropolitic of gender equality that previous waves created, and to have a clear understanding of the term feminism. Furthermore, anti-discrimination against women of color was rising in popularity, and civil rights and social equality for women are also being expanded. From the 1990s to the early 2000s, mass media was rapidly evolving as a primary source of information for the general public, and as a result, the feminist movement spread globally. The fourth wave is where feminism and social media are at an all-time high. The advancement of media and technologies during this time period, also known as the digital era, provided everyone with easy access to social issues, politics, and entertainment with just a few clicks on the device. A movement of women sharing their stories online about sexual abuse, sexual harassment, and sexism in the workplace on the internet enable women's voice to be heard around the world in a matter of seconds. Women were given leadership roles in political offices during this wave. On social media, movements such as the hashtag #MeToo movement and the Time's Up movement highlighted shared stories of sexual and manipulative assaults or acts by ordinary, influential, and well-known men. And so, a new era of feminism began, full of passion, social influence, and demand for change. Each wave gave women the opportunity to achieve the justice that they desired. And now, in our current era, women are beginning to feel the fruits of hard work that early feminists faced during the time of their oppression. As with any freedom, some will take advantage of it, which can lead to issues that spark a new problem or even a new movement. Though this type of problem is unavoidable in a world full of diverse opinions and point of view, the important thing behind all of this is that women with great skills were given the spotlight in order to make our world a better place.